Hello and welcome back to the Candid podcast. It's your host, Isabella Pasquale. And on today's 13th Golden Nugget, I'm talking about licking our wounds. Sometimes after a bout you may have, let's say for context, you may have a disastrous relationship that just crashes and burns, or you have deals that fall through, or there are some setbacks. I mean, that's natural. The natural reaction is to, retreat, collect yourself, and, self-pity is pretty common. But sometimes you need to regress and debrief and consider why things didn't work out. Now, in a previous Golden Nugget episode, where I mentioned using your handicaps to your advantage, I also discussed the 48 Laws of Power's 10th law, which suggests to avoid the unhappy and misfortunate. Now, in these economically trying times, in our globalized economy, where if you're a contractor in the United States, you can get outbid pretty commonly by foreign VAs, and your expertise is marginalized. And then the average person would say, I'm going to subcontract somebody, and they see the price over value situation. I can get this person for $4.75 an hour versus paying somebody $25 an hour, $30, especially if you have an expertise.
But if you don't believe this, so you should.
Or let's say you put in bids for deals and they fall through, or you have a catastrophic breakup with your partner, and so you retreat and you lick your wounds. Now, my content, I'm not going to be grandiose and think I'm an influencer. I mean, maybe I could blow up in 6 months of consistency or whatever. But the point is, maybe if the Candid podcast resonates with somebody a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years, 50 years even, or 100 years. The point is, I'm trying to have a level-headed conversation with you. So in those circumstances where you're licking your wounds, it allows you an opportunity to collect your thoughts and debrief. Now, there are some people who they got grandfathered into situations, and that's great on their parents or whomever that got them in. I can't talk anything bad about that. Though there are other people who don't come from such comfortable backgrounds, and then they have to leverage their own grit and determination and expertise and skills to navigate an evolving market or situations where you're forced to learn to upskill, and you're forced to deal with situations alone. And sometimes after you crash and burn, you find yourself at a Denny's at 2 a.m. alone, having a steak and egg breakfast, and you're just considering your next move. So, according to the 10th law of the 48 Laws of Power, avoid the unhappy and misfortunate. If you're in those circumstances, be proud of it. Don't relish in self-pity, but reframe the situation and say, I'm grateful that I've crashed and burned, or I've fallen, or things didn't work out as planned, because it affords me the opportunity to course correct and to upskill and improve myself. Because in my experience, when I've faced any calamity in my life, it is always been to my benefit. It has protected me. There's a reason why. Things didn't work out. Let's say your car breaks down. Then this affords you an opportunity to find out what the other problems are. Can I troubleshoot this situation? Then I find some other stuff. Oh, well, you know what? I was able to prevent another calamity because of that calamity. And I was able to address that issue. And now I have upskilled myself. And I'm in a new niche.
It sounds like
And now I have my previous experiences that I can carry with me into this new scenario. And I have the benefit of hindsight. I can protect myself now when I see certain personalities or certain situations that happened before.
you should really sit down and look at your Bible on phone.
Other people, they dull the pain, and I'm not going to judge them. That's what you do, whatever. But for me, it's irksome when people say, I feel sorry for you. You feel sorry for me? What? Because you got grandfathered into a situation, you had your uncle look out for you, you had, the connections. I spoke with somebody and I was pitching them something, just having a casual conversation, and they had the audacity to say, oh, well, you can't just vibe with everybody, or we're gatekeeping our connections. Okay, sure, do your thing, that's fine.
That's what I say when people want to talk to me about.
But if you're an outlier, and I'm an outlier, I'm an outsider, I'm speaking to those who are out of the mainstream, because the mainstream rejected me. I did a lot of hard work, and I wasn't recognized. And I was pushed aside because I did my own thing. And I'm sure most of you are business rebels. You're rebellious. Unless you're a conformist, which is fine, and you just want to break out, and maybe you've been working your corporate job for the past 5-10 years, and now you want to expand into your own thing. I commend you for that. I had corporate jobs, things didn't work out, and I had to maneuver. Sometimes companies go under, they get sold, you get laid off. That's my experience. And then you have to upsell or upskill, build your own thing to survive and make any money. Because if you go to staffing agencies and networking events, it's not always fruitful. There is a big degree of nepotism, sure. But you have to navigate the situation and be grateful. Lick your wounds from every calamity and have the mental ability to be introspective. Because if you have the woe is me mentality, then how can you win? How can you learn from it? Like, let's say in a situation you see somebody you admire, and if you are jealous of them, how are you going to improve? If you reframe the situation and say, hey, I want to learn how they're doing it. I may have lost and it hurts, but I want to learn. Be open-minded. What does jealousy do for you? You lick your wounds and then you learn. You don't lick your wounds and you fester, because then that causes an infection. And we don't want that, do we? So I'm at a Denny's right now enjoying a T-bone steak and eggs breakfast at 2 a.m. I'm just debriefing, and there comes a time in a lot of people's lives where they have to be introspective. Maybe people have left you, or you're just exhausted, burnt out. So you take that time to lick your wounds and analyze the situation, so then you can go back into the fray. So for those of you who give a shit, thank you for tuning into my podcast. Check out the rest of my content. I mean, the golden nuggets are more, off the cusp opinion pieces. Though I do have some interesting interviews with, some guests, so you can check the rest of the content. This is more of a stream of consciousness right now, 2 a.m. I'm planning my next moves very carefully, because sometimes you can plan and there are delays, or there are some other factors that come into play that were not expected. So lick your wounds, navigate the situation, reframe your mentality. And yes, if you are unhappy and unfortunate, that's fine. Accept your position, and then reframe and say, hey, I'm done with the pity party. I'm ready to learn and course correct, because that's the only way I'm going to get out of this situation. Because I'm not fortunate enough to have the backup that other people do. So
all I do is go on Instagram.
Lick your wounds and be introspective. Check out the rest of the content. Maybe it can help you. There's a range of different niches and guests and whatnot. But I'm just keeping it real with you guys. Thanks for giving a shit and tuning in. And I'll see you around.